Naranchaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayasha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, Sloka number 9. Chapter name is Pandavas Retire Timely. Yat Tejasa Drupashira Angrim Ahan Makartham Yat Tejasa Drupashiro Angrim Ahan Makartham Yat Tejasa Drupashiro Angrim Ahan Makartham Aryaha Anujaha Tava Gaja Ayuta Sattvaviryaha Aryo Anujastava Gajayuta Sattvaviryaha Aryo Anujastava Gajayuta Sattvaviryaha Tena Ahrutaha Pramathanatha Makhaya Bhupaha Tena Hrutaha Pramathanatha Makhaya Bhupa Tena Hrutaha Pramathanatha Makhaya Bhupa Yat Mochitaha Tat Anayan Balim Advare Te Yanmochitastadayan Balimadvare Te Yanmochitastadayan Balimadvare Te Yattejasa Nrupashiro Angrim Ahan Makartam Aryo Anujastava Gajayuta Sattvaviryaha Tena Hrutaha Pramathanatha Makhaya Bhupa Yanmochitastatayan Balimadvarete Yattejasa Nrupashiro Angrim Ahan Makartham Aryo Anujastava Gajayuta Sattvaviryaha Tena Hrutaha Pramathanatha Makhaya Bhupa Yanmochitastatayan Balimadvarete. Yat, whose, Tejasa, by influence, Nrupashira Angrim, one whose feet are adored by the heads of kings, Ahan, killed. Maka Ardham, for the sacrifice. Aryaha, respectable. Anujaha, younger brother. Tava, your. Gaja Ayuta, 10,000 elephants. Sattvaviryaha, powerful existence. Tena, by him. Ahrutaha, collected. Pramatanatha, the Lord of ghosts. Mahābhairava. Makhaya, for sacrifice. Bhupaha, kings. Yat mochitaha, by whom they were released. Tat anayan, all of them brought. Balim, taxes. Advare, presented. Te, your. Translation given by His Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Your respectable younger brother, who possesses the strength of 10,000 elephants, killed by his grace Jarāsandha, whose feet were worshipped by many kings. These kings had been brought for sacrifice in Jarāsandha's Mahābhairava-yajña, but they were thus released. Later, they paid tribute to Your Majesty. Please read the translation. Your respectable younger brother, who possesses the strength of 10,000 elephants, killed by his grace Jarāsandha, whose feet were worshipped by many kings. These kings had been brought for sacrifice in Jarāsandha's Mahābhairava-yajña, but they were thus released. Later, they paid tribute to Your Majesty. Purport given by His Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jarāsandha was a powerful king of Magadha, and the history of his birth and activities is also very interesting. His father, King Brihadrata, was also a very prosperous and powerful king of Magadha. But he had no son, although he married 2 daughters of the king of Kashi. Being disappointed in not getting a son from either of the 2 queens, the king, along with his wives, left home to live in the forest for austerities. But in the forest, he was benedicted by one great Rishi to have a son, and he gave him one mango to be eaten by the queens. The queens did so and were very soon pregnant. The king was very happy to see the queens bearing children, but when the right time approached, the queens delivered one child in 2 parts, one from each of the queen's wombs. The 2 parts were thrown in the forest, where a great she-demon used to live, and she was very glad to have some delicate flesh and blood from the newly born child. Out of curiosity, she joined the 2 parts, and the child became complete and regained life. The she-demon was known as Jara, and being compassionate on the childless king, she went to the king and presented him with the nice child. The king was very pleased with the she-demon and wanted to reward her according to her desire. The she-demon expressed her desire that the child be named after her, and thus the child was surnamed Jarāsandha, or one who was joined by Jara, the she-demon. In fact, this Jarāsandha was born as one of the parts and parcels of the demon Viprachitti. The saint by whose benedictions the queens bore the child was called Chandra Kaushika, who foretold of the child before his father Brihadrata. Since Jarāsandha possessed so, and so also Jarāsandha, he used to sacrifice all arrested kings before Lord Mahābhairava, Shiva, and by his military power he defeated many small kings and arrested them to butcher before Mahābhairava. There are many devotees of Lord Mahābhairava or Kalabhairava in the province of Bihar, formerly called Magadha. Jarāsandha was a relative of Kamsa, the maternal uncle of Krishna. Therefore, after Kamsa's death, King Jarāsandha became a great enemy of Krishna, and there were many fights between Jarāsandha and Krishna. Lord Krishna wanted to kill him, but he also wanted that those who served as military men for Jarāsandha might not be killed. Therefore, a plan was adopted to kill him. Krishna, Bhima and Arjuna together went to Jarāsandha in the dress of poor Brahmanas and begged charity from King Jarāsandha. Jarāsandha never refused charity to any Brahmana, and he performed many sacrifices also. Yet he was not on a par with devotion service. Lord Krishna, Bhima and Arjuna asked Jarāsandha for the facility of fighting him. And it was settled that Jarāsandha would fight with Bhima only. So all of them were both guests and combatants of Jarāsandha. And Bhima and Jarāsandha fought every day for several days. Bhima became disappointed, but Krishna gave him hints about Jarāsandha's being joined together as an infant. And thus Bhima dissected him again and so killed him. All the kings who were detained in the concentration camp to be killed before Mahābhairava were thus released by Bhima. Feeling thus obliged to the Pandavas, they paid tribute to King Yudhishthira. Thus as the Bhaktivan purport. Namavom Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamy Nithinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadhi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaurabhaktarunda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So context of this Bhagavatam sloka is, Arjuna goes to Dwaraka after Krishna wound up his pastimes, and he comes back with bad news to Yudhishthira Maharaj that Krishna disappeared and Krishna and Balaram, they were no more, and he was remembering what and all blessings they got from Lord Krishna. So by the mercy of Lord Krishna, they could able to win over this mighty demon called Jarāsandha. So Jarāsandha is having one son, Jayatsena, and two daughters by name Asti and Prapti. The two daughters were married to Kamsa. So Kamsa is a close friend to Jarāsandha, as well as he is his own son-in-law. But Krishna killed Kamsa, and then the two wives of Kamsa, they came back to their father Jarāsandha, and Jarāsandha becomes very angry at Krishna. So from then on, he became a greatest enemy to Krishna. He has always developed hatred towards Krishna. So he wanted to defeat Yadavas at any cost. Then from his kingdom, which is currently called as Bihar, that's previously Magadha kingdom, he comes with great army. The army is 23 Akshauhinis. You know how many is the, what is strength of army in Kurukshetra war, both Pandavas and Kauravas put together? Anybody can tell? How many Akshauhinis Pandavas and Kauravas put together? 18 Akshauhinis they fought. But here Jarāsandha came with bigger than Kurukshetra war, 23 Akshauhinis. And Krishna is having one Akshohini Sena, Narayana Sena, that's it. And he keeps most of the army inside the kingdom only, and many common people inside the fort. And with little army and Krishna Balaram, they go together and they fight very valiantly and finish off whole army of Jarāsandha. And Jarāsandha was released. He was not killed. Again he goes back, consolidates big army. Again he comes back. Again they defeat. Again he was released. He goes back. Again consolidates. Again he brings big army against Yadavas. That's how this Jarāsandha fights almost 18 times against Krishna. 18 times. So why they released? Because the purpose of Krishna coming to this world is to decrease the burden of earth by killing the demons. So if Jarāsandha was released, he will consolidate, he will bring all the demons together to one place. And Krishna Balaram can take the facility and nicely kill all of them. Okay. So that's how they were released. So it happened like that. Then Krishna builds finally his kingdom in Dwaraka because of continuous attacks of this Jarāsandha. Because common people are feeling some kind of disturbance. Not danger, but some disturbance. So he wants to minimize disturbance to his devotees. That's why he builds the kingdom in Dwaraka. So he cannot approach. Jarāsandha cannot approach the Dwaraka kingdom so easily. Because it is in between the ocean. So then one day Krishna goes to Hastinapura, especially Indraprastha, and performs that Kandava Dahana Leela, and then he comes back again to Dwaraka. So when he comes back to Dwaraka, he pays obeisances first to his king, the king of Dwaraka. Who is king of Dwaraka? Ugrasen Maharaj. And then to his father and brother Balaram, everybody. Then he stays in the Dwaraka. Every day he used to go to one hall by name Sudharma. That hall name is Sudharma. It was gifted by Indra to Krishna when he built this city called Dwaraka. So there's specialty of that hall. Whoever goes inside that hall, enters the hall, they'll be relieved of 6 kinds of material sufferings: hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. That's specialty of the hall. So in that hall, every assembly is to happen. Ugrasen Maharaj will be there, and then whatever discussions happens, and everything used to happen there only. So Krishna goes there every day, and then resolves all kinds of issues in the kingdom. It's going on like every day. So everybody knows, even though king is Ugrasena, they consider Krishna as their natural leader because he is the one who killed Kamsa, the cruel king of this Ugrasen Maharaj, and then regained the kingdom. So Krishna, even though he is very less aged by birth, he gave kingdom to his grandfather, and then he used to always respect him. Then one day when assembly is going on, suddenly one person comes to the assembly, and Krishna asks, "What's your problem?" He tells about the great danger from Jarāsandha. This king Jarāsandha became more and more aggressive, and is capturing many kings, and then he is keeping them in a concentration camp, just like Hitler used to have concentration camp. He used to have a concentration camp above the hill in a fort. So wretchedly they were treated, the kings of the various kingdoms. And then he want to sacrifice all of them for the Mahābhairava, to Mahābhairava. The purpose is finally to win over the Yadavas. He want to sacrifice many kings so that he gets power and finally win over these Yadavas. That's the purpose. So it's a great danger. If kings are not there, kingdoms will become adharmic. So you are the protector, please save, do something. Then when Krishna is about to speak, Narada Maharshi comes. Shishradha Govindaki. When Krishna is about to speak to that king, actually he is also a king only. He escaped from that fort. As a messenger he came to Krishna. So when he is about to speak, suddenly Narada Muni appears. When Narada Muni appears, all the kings, Ugrasen Maharaj, Krishna and Balram, all the ministers, they woke up, they stand and pay respectable obeisance to, this Narada Muni. And then he was made to sit on the golden throne and he was offered worship with argya and everything. And they do perform puja to Narada Muni. So this is how you can see Krishna respects his superiors. Even the Supreme Person of Godhead, he is setting example how one has to respect our superiors. We have in Siksashtakam that Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi. That means one should not expect any respect from others. Rather, he should give respect to others. Then only one can able to chant holy name always purely. Kirtaniya Sadaharihi. Okay. So if you want to respect everybody, first you have to start with your seniors, superiors. So without that, there's no question of respecting everybody, and there's no question of chanting purely also. And why we have to respect our superiors? Because they have practiced Krishna consciousness for quite years, and they have the knowledge of the scriptures, and their duty is to guide the juniors. The duty of the seniors is that they should be merciful to their juniors and then guide them in the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And sometimes seniors they do chastisement also, but that is out of duty, not anything otherwise. Because the duty, like mother chastises child, it's a duty to celebrate the child. Otherwise, seniors will be always merciful and they will guide the juniors. Their duty is to guide the juniors. And it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is one sannyasi is there, senior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by name Ramachandra Puri. So this Ramachandra Puri, he is having fault-finding tendency. He always enjoys finding fault with others and broadcasting about that. Okay. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was called by many devotees, and then they will give big feasts. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, there will be elaborate description of various kinds of feasts offered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of love towards them, he accepts, he eats everything. And then this Ramachandra Puri comments on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that sannyasi should not eat like this. So he is not a sannyasi. Like that, he keeps broadcasting badly about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu respected him because he is a Brahmana, he is a sannyasi. And then he was, it is said that, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always honored and respected him. He never committed against him. So I need just handful of rice, that is enough for me. You give that much. Like that very humbly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to tell. And there is one more devotee by name Vasudeva Datta. Vasudeva Datta is brother of Mukunda Datta. Mukunda Datta is very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Vasudeva Datta is his elder brother. And Vasudeva Datta is a so pure devotee, that whatever money he used to have, he just used to give for others' welfare. Just like that he used to give. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes him very much. So he appoints Shivananda Sena to take care of his family accounts. He's unnecessarily spending money to everybody. You take care of his accounts so that his family maintained properly. And then Vasudeva Datta would tell that I am seeing many people are doing many sinful activities. I am ready to suffer for all of them. Please deliver everybody from this material world to Vaikuntha Loka. I will suffer for all their sinful activities. He would request Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much pleased with him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would tell that I am Vasudeva Datta's man. Whatever he says I will do. I was sold to Vasudeva Datta. So one of his good quality is that Mukunda Datta, even though angered to him, he would consider him as his senior. And he would take instructions from his younger brother. Why? Because he got shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before him. Okay. So even though by age is elder, but he used to consider him as always junior. So in Krishna consciousness, it is seniority generally defined by the Krishna consciousness, the level of progress in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So that is how our acharyas, the pure devotee, set the example how we should respect our elders, superiors. There is one person, once he was telling me, in his family, always there are fights, it seems. There's no peace, chaotic condition in the family every day, every other day. He would tell, and in the family, father and mother were there, and then brother and sister were there. Nobody respects anybody. Father fights with mother, and the sister fights with brother, and both of them fight against parents. So always it's like that. So once he came to temple during a festival. Two boys are fighting for a service. And then both of them went to one devotee, and devotee clearly told, you have to do like this. That's it. Out of respect towards the devotee, both of them followed. At the fight, the issue was resolved. He got surprised. Prabhuji, this is what I see lack in my family. Nobody respects our father and mother. Either I don't respect my sister, my mother don't respect father. Okay. So when there is no respect to superiors in the family will be always without problems and issues will be there. It's a general principle. Okay, to respect elders and follow their instructions to lead a proper way of life. Okay, so it went on like that. Krishna used to respect his seniors very much. Then, as Narada Muni came, he asks, what is happening with Pandavas, what they want to do. Even though Krishna knows everything, he asks. Then Narada Muni tells, my lord, you know everything. Still, as an ordinary man, you are asking, and it is my duty to tell. And your friend Yudhishthira Maharaj want to perform Rajasuya sacrifice, and he wants your help. He sent me to invite you to Indraprastha. Krishna becomes very happy because Lord always want to be with his devotees. Then Krishna goes with all of his family. How many wives Krishna is having? 16,108 wives. Okay. With all the wives he goes in many golden chariots and big army. They're holding various weapons, swords and many things like that. And then backside many horses, mules and asses, they're carrying the luggage required to maintain. And then they crossed Kurukshetra and many rivers, many kingdoms, and finally they reach Indraprastha. So Yudhishthira becomes very happy. All the Pandavas, they go out of love. They hug, everybody hug Krishna very much, very happily. And lakhs of people gather in the kingdom to receive Krishna. And whole kingdom was decorated very nicely. And then they take him to inside the palace. So after Krishna takes rest and after refreshment everything, they all gather in the court. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj was there, all the Pandavas are there, and Krishna was sitting there. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj tells, my dear Krishna, I want to perform Rajasuya sacrifice. So, can you tell me, is it possible for me to do? You are my real well-wisher. You always give good advice to me. So, please instruct me in this direction. And all the Pandavas sitting there, they are very keen, very silent, they are waiting for Krishna's instruction. It is so much silent that far away there's one temple is there, Brahmanas are chanting mantras, that mantras also audible to the court. They are very keenly hearing to Krishna's instruction. So Krishna is very peacefully sitting like this. And then he told, my dear Yudhishthira Maharaj, you can able to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice for sure, provided you kill this great demonic king by name Jarāsandha. He became very powerful. He made alliance with very many kings. Previously, all those kings fought with myself and Balram. They were defeated. And now, all of them came together. They accepted the leadership of this Jarāsandha. And then they became formidable, so much formidable. So, defeating him is almost impossible. Like that, Krishna tells, and what do you say? He asks Pandavas. Immediately, Bhima rages. He tells, it is a wrong idea to take whole army and go against Jarāsandha. Instead of that, I will go alone. I will challenge him in a single combat. Along with me, if Krishna comes, he gives a good guidance always. And then Arjuna, with him, always victory will be there. Wherever Krishna Arjuna is there, always victory. What is the sloka? Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Paddo Danudraha, Tatta Sir Vijayar Bhuti, Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama. Always victory will be there. If both of you come, I can surely be victorious. So then, Krishna becomes very happy. This was the same advice given by Uddhava in Dwaraka also. So then immediately they want to go. But Yudhishthira Maharaj is doubtful. He is moving very uneasily. How can I send Krishna alone? With Bhima and Arjuna. You are very important to me. Also Bhima and Arjuna. Bhima and Arjuna are like my eyes. And Krishna, you are my like mind. And he is a very powerful king having big army. How can I send three of you just like that? So then, instead of that, I'll stop this idea of performing Rajasuya sacrifice. Even Yamaraja cannot defeat Jarāsandha. So like that, Yudhishthira Maharaj tells, and he'll be silent. So then, Arjuna starts speaking. So Arjuna tells, we are born in a race famous for valor and prowess. My dear brother, that is our birth. How can we live like weak men and shrink back in fear of an enemy? We are Kshatriyas, our duty is to fight. If necessary, we are ready to lay down our own lives for the purpose to establish Dharma and to release these imprisoned kings. If we don't go, the whole world will be ruined. So by his words, Krishna becomes very happy. So Krishna tells, Arjuna has shown the mood of one born in Bharata race. He never steps back. We do not know when the death will overtake us, nor have we heard the immortality has been ordained by desisting from battle. If you stop from battle also, there is no surety that we live always. One day everybody has to die. Either we shall kill him or bring ourselves death. Okay. So, that's what Krishna tells. He becomes very much pleased by the words of Arjuna. See the mood of Arjuna, to establish Dharma, to give happiness to the whole world, they're ready to lay down their life. Similarly, if you see in the Vaishnava culture also, we are Brahmanas. We are not going to fight with, this kind of swords and all these things, spears. But we also have similar kind of mood to lay down our life to establish Krishna consciousness, to preach Krishna consciousness. Just like you see Prabhupada, at the age of 70, an old man, what should not be done, everything Prabhupada has done. He crossed the ocean, 45 days almost traveling in the ship, suffering 2 heart attacks, and then no friends, no caretakers were there. He is roaming alone in the roads, sleeping, wherever possible. And then he himself used to purchase vegetables, he himself used to cook, serve them and wash them for hundreds of people, a 70-year-old man. And then, he lived with people who are hippies, who means uncultured and dangerous people. That kind of people Prabhupada lived. And then, Prabhupada used to, spend so much time in the night time, especially without sleeping, in writing books, travel across the world, various countries to preach Krishna consciousness. What not? Prabhupada has done many, many things beyond his ability, a old man's ability. So, finally, Prabhupada was there in final days in Vrindavan. It's almost final days of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is having, one known pujari from Tirupati. His name is Sampath Kumar Bhattacharya. When Prabhupada came to Hyderabad to establish Radha Madan Mohan, he comes and meets with many pujaris. He is one of the main pujaris of Tirupati. And they appreciate so much. Prabhupada, you have done which nobody can do. Up to now, nobody could do. Even future us, there is no guarantee it can be done. Such kind of great adventure you have done by converting these Westerners to, Vaishnava culture. Like that, Prabhupada, they appreciate very much. And when he comes to know that Prabhupada was suffering in last days, immediately he goes from Tirupati to Vrindavan to meet Prabhupada. And he feels very sad by seeing the Prabhupada situation. And he wants to give an instruction to Prabhupada, as if Prabhupada doesn't know about it. He says that, Swamiji, I'll tell you one solution to relieve you from this suffering. Prabhupada says, what is that? Your disciples are keeping your deity in the altar. It is said in Pancharatra Vidhi that when Acharya is living, if his deity is worshipped, so that Acharya will face many troubles, so much suffering that Acharya has to go through. So immediately please instruct your disciples to stop worshipping. After, you left this body, later, maybe they can worship, but not now. Prabhupada just laughs and tells, I came here to take their sufferings and make them chant her name purely. By that, he gets surprised. He gets surprised very much. And he tells, is this your wish? Then what can I do? I am just a priest. Prabhupada in the form of deity, is there in our altar. And he is taking actually all our sins to make us chant purely. Make us chant purely. And it is our duty also not to commit sinful activities and trouble Srila Prabhupada. We should have that responsibility and love towards Srila Prabhupada. So, that's how Prabhupada used to take any kind of adventure, difficulty to spread Krishna consciousness. So then this Arjuna, Bhima and Krishna, immediately they leave. They further doesn't wait. Immediately they leave. With the permission of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Krishna takes permission from Yudhishthira Maharaj to fight against Jarāsandha. So that's how, that much he respects. Okay. So then Mahābharata tells they are like sun and moon and fire. Okay, Bhima and Arjuna, they're like sun and moon, and Krishna is like fire. Immediately they live in a simple dress, like a Brahmana. Snataka. Snataka means when the brahmachari is passed out of Gurukula, they go to king or any people to beg alms. Okay, it's like convocation ceremony. In school, in college, we have convocation ceremony. No? After completion of college, they give some certificate. Okay, so these brahmacharis, they would go to king, take some dakshana and give to Guru dakshana as a Guru dakshana. Okay, so in the Snataka attire, like a brahmacharis, they immediately go to that kingdom. So then they go to the kingdom of this Jarāsandha. That kingdom is Girivraja. It is there in Bihar. It is fully surrounded by forest. It has five mountains protecting the kingdom. If anybody comes, they can able to see from the kingdom. And then beautified by the lakes and wonderful mansions and many more things. Very beautiful city. So Krishna and Bhima and Arjuna, they are standing on peak of the mountain. One mountain is there, which is protecting the main door. That mountain is Chaitaka mountain. On top of that, they are standing. Krishna is telling you, see Bhima and Arjuna, this is the city of Girivraja. And then it was built by Manu, many years before. And then they're very aggressive. They're not in a silently doing something very aggressive. They break the peaks of that mountain and they come down. In the down of that mountain, there's a big drum is there. So the drum is made by skin of a Rakshasa who was killed by Jarāsandha. Okay, if somebody beats that drum, it will make sound for 1 month continuously. 1 month continuously. And then this Jarāsandha makes that continuously sound. That means after 1 month, one more will come, one person will come, he will beat again 1 month. Continuously it makes sound. Again after 1 month, he wants to give message to his enemies that whoever comes to attack him, they'll be killed like this. Okay, so Krishna, Bhima and Arjuna, immediately they break the drum and they go inside the fort. Not through main gate, like thieves, they jump the wall and go inside. And soldiers, they see all these things, they get surprised. Who are these Brahmanas? They're going like this, in this way they're entering. And they're passing through the shops. They happen to come nearby one flower shop. And there is Chandana is also there. They don't ask, they don't request also. They grab just, that's it. Flowers, garland they'll take, they'll put on them. They'll take Chandana, apply on their body and directly go inside the palace. And that time, this Jarāsandha is performing yajña because already his Brahmanas told him there are some bad omens are there. It is danger for you. Please perform yajña. He is performing yajña. And directly they go to Jarāsandha. Jarāsandha, one good quality is there. He is always generous to Brahmanas. He gives charity to Brahmanas, whatever they ask, just like Karna. Karna gives charity, Similarly, this Jarāsandha, he gives everything, whatever they ask. So then, immediately in between the yajna, he is sitting and he asks, what do you want? He says, Krishna speaks, see both of friends are in one O, they don't speak until midnight. So you meet us in the midnight, we'll tell, we came for a specific purpose. So knowing well that this Jarāsandha, will not change his words. Then they were given accommodation in his own palace, Jarāsandha's palace. In the mid of the night, Jarāsandha comes. He comes and worships the Brahmanas, and then he gives cows in charity. They don't accept anything, neither worship nor cows. Then Krishna speaks. So my dear King Jarāsandha, you have to give me whatever I ask. So Jarāsandha agrees, yes, I always respect Brahmanas and whatever you ask, I'll give, no problem. But he observes them very keenly. And he tells, you are not looking like Brahmanas. You have powerful shoulders, like elephant you have shoulders. And then your shoulders have marks of the bows. Arjuna will be holding the bow. What the bow name of Arjuna? Gandhiva. So bow marks are there. You are not seeming like Brahmanas, you are Kshatriyas. And you came, you broke the peaks of the mountain, and then you broke drum. You entered like enemies inside the fort. So who are you? Please tell me clearly. Then Krishna tells, know me, I am the Krishna, your real enemy. And they are Bhima and Arjuna. We came to kill you. Then Jarāsandha laughs. What sin I have done? I am ruling my kingdom, as per dharma. I am taking care of my people nicely. I killed, I imprisoned these kings because I have won over them in the battle, and I can do whatever I want. Okay. So what I have done? Then Krishna tells, it is adharmic to imprison kings like this and then offer them a sacrifice. What happens to kingdom, the whole people? You are so sinful, nobody will be so sinful like you. And then now you should ready to fight with us. You should select best of the warrior from us, 3 of us, and you should ready to fight. Krishna puts a trick. He doesn't tell anybody you select. You select best of the person, so that Jarāsandha will select who you are considered is best. And Jarāsandha selects Bhima because he considers Krishna is a very delicate person. And then Arjuna doesn't know how to fight Malla Yuddha. Okay, so then Bhima is equal match to him. And he fixes the time. Tomorrow morning we will fight outside the kingdom. He enthrones his son as a king for that Magadha kingdom. And he brings 2 maces, 2 gadas. He gives one to Bhima and then one for him. And they fight with each other. And this fight, they are both are experts in this Gada Yuddha and then Malla Yuddha also. So they swung huge blows and they are making powerful sounds. So by hearing the sounds, entire kingdom came to that place outside the kingdom. And then onlookers who are going, they stopped and seeing the fight. It is a very interesting fight. They smashed one another, but neither gave away. Each was as powerful as 10,000 elephants. Both are equally powerful. Jarāsandha is also having strength as 10,000 elephants. When somebody strike them with a mace, other would laugh. Mace is a very powerful weapon. If somebody hits us with a stick, we'll feel so much pain. But if they're hit with mace also, they're just laughing. That's their power. And then after that, clubs broke, these gadas broke, and then they are fighting with bare hands. They seized each other necks and dragged one another around the arena. And then Bhima grabbed his enemy and tried to crush him with his arms. Sometimes they raised their arms, sometimes their fists, and hit the particular parts of opponent's body. And there are huge sounds of slaps and punches, and exhibited wonderful movements. And then they are fighting like mad and elephants like that continuously. Okay, so the day is ended, and then they retired from the fight, and they go back to kingdom, and they are like guests. They are all eating together like a friends. And again they would come, and again the next day fight like that. Like that fight goes for 23 days continuously. 23 days. Then Bhima gets disappointed. My dear Krishna, you only have to show me the way. This Jarāsandha is invincible. Others said Jarāsandha also feeling same thing. This Pandava is invincible. How to defeat him? So then Krishna speaks the secret. See, out of these 28 days of war, Jarāsandha became weak. Especially, he was joined by the demon Jara, in the middle part. There he is weak. You tear him apart at that part. Then you'll be victorious. Then he goes to war. He shows like this how to tear. And then Bhima tears apart and throws here and there, finally defeated. And then he goes to his son Jayasena, this Jarāsandha's son, enthrones him as a king, and releases all the kings. They come to the Krishna and Arjuna and Bhima, they pay obeisances, and then they surrender to Yudhishthira Maharaj. They accept Yudhishthira Maharaj as their king, and then they'll support the Rajasuya sacrifice, and then Jayasena sends them back, both Krishna, Arjuna, and then Bhima by a wonderful chariot back to Hastinapura. Okay, so then Yudhishthira becomes very, very happy. So Yudhishthira says, by your grace, dear Krishna, anything can be achieved. Indeed, it is only by your power that anyone can exhibit their power. We are kings and rulers as long as you permit. Yet although you are unlimited supreme, devoid of mundane desire and hatred, you still appear as ordinary being. Okay, so like that Yudhishthira Maharaj speaks in praise of Krishna. So they have so much, Yudhishthira Maharaj is saying so much love and surrenders towards Krishna like that. So similarly in our life we should have that surrenders towards Krishna and the representative of Krishna, that is Guru, and his organization. We should have faith and we should have surrenders towards them. And seek for advice. How do we get the advice of Srila Prabhupada? How do we get the advice of Srila Prabhupada? Book reading? Any other way? Yes, book reading, and one more is by his disciples, because they have experience. They have studied the Prabhupada books. They practiced. To some extent, they have realizations. Okay, so Prabhupada set up this kind of organization to guide his disciples. Okay, so we need to seek for the guidance. We need to have faith in Prabhupada's organization, and then we need to surrender unto them and follow the instructions. So thus we can lead a happy life and we can progress in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so that's the important lessons from this pastime of Bhima killing Jarāsandha. Okay, we conclude here. Thank you very much. Shri Shri Radha Govind ki, Shri Shri Nitai Gaurang ki, Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagavan ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
హరే టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700.